Hi everybody,
Hello.
good to see you today. It's day 17 of lockdown and
Is it really day 17?
I don't know,
Okay.
I think it's actually 20 something, and I'm wearing a very Jeff Lucas shirt. Do you like that?
Well, it's very. I actually do like this shirt.
I love it.
It's
Suits me, doesn't
very
it?
snazzy.
It
Yes,
suits
I
me.
like that shirt.
So
And especially as you have been slobbing it about mostly, so it's nice to see
I'm a
you
sloppy
looking
Joe's.
a little bit
I'm
smart.
dreading, actually, I've been going about in my sweatpants, so I'm dreading putting on a pair of proper trousers because I don't know whether they're going to fit me or not.
Although the advantage for me that when you're not wearing shirts is I have much less ironing
That
to
is
do
true.
because I do the ironing.
Yes, you do. Anyway, what have you been ironing out today?
Today,
Segue.
talking about marriage, what I did think about this morning was that my tendency to try and sort your life out, Paul.
Yeah, that's true.
So
You said it to me years ago that you thought whenever we first met, when you were 14 and I was 16, that God had sent you to keep me right.
yes,
Isn't that right?
and I failed miserably
And
ever since.
But nothing's ever changed though.
No, and I still do. You know, when he's sitting around at the minute, I'm going, do you not think you should call so and so, or you should do such and such? And I realised this morning. I mean, I do it for the very best motives.
You do.
Because I want you to look good, and I want people to like you.
Think well of me.
Yes,
Yeah.
and think well.
And
of
they
you.
do.
And they do, but not really because I do that. Because when the girls were small, you know, Paul would maybe be telling them off about something.
Carnoptious.
No.
That's a
you
great
would
word,
just,
isn't it?
Yes, it is a great word. But you'd be cross with them about something, and then they'd come into me, and I would go, "No, your daddy didn't really mean that." And then you
Story
would,
of my life.
and you would shout.
I said, that's exactly what I meant.
And so I was reflecting on this morning because I realised that the same way that I treat you, I often treat God exactly the same way, and I've got a plan, and it's because I want God to look good in the eyes of everybody, and so I tell him what the plan is and how it should be worked out, and then
Does he always play ball?
well, that's the problem. I realised this morning when I was listening to the news, actually I feel really disappointed. I feel really disappointed. And the reason, when I really looked into it, I thought, I know why I'm feeling disappointed. Because with the run up to Easter, I'd been reading the Psalms, I'd been reading about the glory of God being shown in the nations. I'd been excited that, you know, we were coming up to Easter, and I felt like, you know, the power of the resurrection is going to be released into our world. Even though all the experts and pundits have said this is the line of the graph with the virus, I thought, what's going to happen? Or God, this is a good idea. If you intervene and despite what all the experts say, suddenly, you know, the rate of infection goes down. And I mean, obviously, we would want the rate of death to go down. So if you intervene, God, people will connect that in their minds to Easter. They'll give you glory. Your name will be lifted up in the nations, and many people will turn to you. And then I was listening to the news this morning, and, you know, there hasn't been a great drop-off in the infection rate here in Northern Ireland. There hasn't been what I was expecting. I said, Lord, you know, that was a good plan. That was a good plan. And it just made me realise how much I try to control God. And it also reminded me in the Gospels at some point, it talks about Jesus' family going. It says they went to take charge of him. And I suddenly realised, Priscilla, you so often try to take charge of God. Now, it's for the good reason. You want God to be big in people's minds. But, you know, God's big enough to be able to do that for himself. So I just felt really challenged this morning. This is something I'm not in control of. This is something I can't fix or have any answers for. And maybe it's a good place to be.
It is. I read this morning. You'll be impressed. C.S. Lewis. He was wounded today at the Battle of Arras in 1918.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And it said, he said this, we can ignore even pleasure, but pain insists upon being attended to. God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pain. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that good, isn't it?
Yes, that's
And
very
I thought to myself, well, if that's the case, and let's be honest, compared to some people in the world, we've got it pretty comfortable here.
Absolutely.
You know, we've got Netflix, we've got a really nice house, we've plenty of food, etc. But nonetheless, God's saying something to the world. Now, I don't want to take on that one because I don't know what the Lord's saying to the world exactly.
Exactly.
But what is He saying to me? Now, you may be disappointed in this.
Okay.
Because of all our travels, part of us kind of thinks, well, maybe the Lord will just settle the two of them down and they'll stay at home and be Darby and Joan. But I read this today and I think I just want to recommit myself to doing this here. It was Mark Batterson. He said this: expand your horizons, accumulate experiences, find every excuse you can to celebrate everything you can. Live like today is the first day and the last day of your life. Don't let what's wrong with you keep you from worshipping what's right with God.
It's really good.
Burn sinful bridges, blaze new trails, worry less about what people think and more about what God thinks. Don't try to be who you're not. Laugh at yourself, which we do. Don't make a living, make a life. Don't let fear dictate your decisions. Quit making excuses. Quit playing defence. Quit holding out. Quit holding back. Quit running away. And quit putting eightfold ceilings on what God can do. And I just thought, in a few days, in about 4 weeks' time, which hopefully you'll all celebrate, I'll be 69, which means next year I will be...
No.
Yes.
The big
7-0. And as you know, a man or a woman, generally speaking, they get 10, which is 70. And I thought, well, time to just, cruise a bit more, play a bit more golf, though I don't.
You don't play golf.
I know I don't. And just generally take it easy. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do... I don't want to faint over the finish line. I want to burst over it. And so my commitment is this year, God's speaking to me and says, Paul, until the last breath that you have, serve me with everything that you have.
Well, no, I'm not disappointed in that.
You just don't want to fly as much as you used to.
Yes. I said to Paul, actually I did say to you recently, it's not that I want to stop running the race. I absolutely want to keep going. I just wanted a slight change of pace. But then you have to be careful what you wish for, because this has been a radical change of pace. But at the same time then, it gives you time to reflect on some things about yourself. Because I realise that I often live with areas of disappointment, and it is in relationship to what I hoped God would do. Okay. So therefore, that helps you to just recalibrate and think afresh about your attitudes. And the commitment. And that is such. Yes. I mean, I'm
commitment to serve God.
I'm right there with you.
So, okay, God's shouting at us in the middle of our inverted commas pain. What's He saying to you? God bless you. See you Friday.